Big story we're watching this morning. We're awaiting Michael Cohen's sentencing hearing at federal court in Manhattan. Cohen pleading guilty to charges including lying to Congress about a proposed Trump real estate project in Moscow. Now he's facing several years in prison. We're covering this from all angles for you this morning. Alan Dershowitz standing by for reaction. But we begin first with White House correspondent Kevin Cork. He's live on the North Lawn for us this morning. Kevin, any new reaction from the president on this sentencing as we await it?
Not yet, but obviously we're going to be keeping an eye on his Twitter feed, because if the past, Sandra, is any indication, we figure the president won't miss an opportunity to weigh in on this particular topic. Cohen, as you know, will be sentenced for 8 federal crimes he pleaded guilty to back in August, as well as a separate charge of lying to Congress that he pleaded guilty to in connection with the Mueller investigation. Now, part of that plea deal, Cohen agrees to cooperate with the special counsel investigation, which could prove pivotal as the probe continues. I do want to share what the president previously said about Cohen's request for no time off. This is a bit of an older tweet, but I think it's instructive. He said, Michael Cohen asked judge for no prison time. You mean he could do all of the terrible, unrelated to Trump, things having to do with fraud, big loans, taxis, etc., and not serve a long prison term? He makes up stories to get a great and already reduced deal for himself and get his wife and father-in-law, who has the money, off scot-free. He lied for this outcome and should, in my opinion, serve a full and complete sentence. Now, to be clear, presidents don't usually weigh in on things like this before they're properly adjudicated. But then again, this is not the usual presidency, and I think that's something this president takes great pride in. Sandra?
Meanwhile, Kevin, more fallout from the president's warning yesterday that he'd shut down the government if he does not get funding for that border wall.
Yeah, there's no question about that. This man is bound and determined to get funding for the wall or else. And the or else is something we just saw play out yesterday before the nation, that dramatic and quite frankly stunning interaction between the president, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer yesterday here at the White House. Back to Twitter, the president talking about this idea of not getting $5 billion for the wall. He tries to draw a distinction here between something the Democrats did previously. He says the Democrats and President Obama gave Iran $150 billion and got nothing, but they can't give $5 billion for national security and a wall. Now, we won't get into the fact that that was Iran's money from 1979. I don't want to make people confused, but let's just take you through this. The wall was a campaign promise. Many on Capitol Hill, including Lindsey Graham, are urging the president to stand his ground, which is exactly what he plans to do.
I don't mind owning that issue. I mean, Chuck's problem is that, you know, when we last closed down, that was his idea. And honestly, he got killed. And so he doesn't want to own it. And I said, you know what, rather than us debating who's owning it, I'll take it. I'll take it. If we close down the country, I will take it, because we're closing it down for border security. And I think I win that every single time.
A double win, he says, because the American people want it, and he thinks it's a political winner as well. Back to you, Sandra, for now.
Kevin Cork on a busy morning. Thank you.